Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Ithakwa's Bane bringing you gaming goodness, and we are continuing this October with some more paranormal games for you to enjoy and to try and to maybe get your friends to try out as well. Before we continue, don't forget, like, subscribe, click the notification bell, add some comments and share with your friends. I need to boost up my subscribers. We are looking at the Unseen World today. Now, this is an indie game by Thomas P. King, and you can get this on drive-through. I'll put the link down below. Initially, I got the PDF. I was planning to print it out myself, but I kind of liked the look of it so much, I actually ordered the book as well. So I've got two versions, but it's okay. I didn't actually print out the PDF. But this is a game of paranormal research and investigation in modern day Japan. So that brings to mind all of those amazing Japanese horror movies that I say that we've all seen and loved. If you're watching this video, you're probably aware of the Japanese paranormal scene. You've got things like Ju-on, you've got things like The Ring, you've got things like, what's the one where you miss, is it One Missed Call or something? But a lot of these sort of horror films that originate from Japan, Korea, even Thailand, Indonesia, they're actually really, really good horror movies. Very different to what we normally have in the sort of Western world. But in this game, you're playing as a paranormal investigator. You've quit your job and you want to kind of work on this sort of laughed at area of scientific research, the paranormal. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going from town to town, investigating haunted locations. But first you have to go to different locations in the town and try to collect information. Once you have 3 pieces of information, you can then try to investigate the haunted location. You have to go through a number of encounters to collect evidence. After that, the evidence that you collect can then be traded in for money in various forms. You've got things such as chapters of a book, writing articles, uploading documentaries. And then with that money, you can then purchase better equipment, hire NPCs to help you, and also you're also going to need to be careful with your money management because you're going to have a sort of constant expenditure in terms of paying for hotels. Now, I have here the physical book, which is amazing. I do recommend this game, but I also really recommend this the physical book. I've got my character sheet, I've got my town sheet. You're going to need one of these for each town you go to. You're going to need a deck of cards. We have here 2 decks that you're actually going to be using in the game. Here we have the challenge deck. Now this is going to include all of your 6s, 7s and 8s. And at the start of the game, 1 5 card. Down here we have our action deck. This is going to be the source of our hand. We're going to have 4 cards in our hand. This is where we get them from. And this is going to contain 2s, 3s and 4s. And at the start of the game, 1 ace. Now the ace value is going to change as the game progresses. It's going to be worth more points. You're also going to need 2 dice, a D10 and a D6. Now, if you want to, they do sort of recommend having a notebook if you want to kind of journal or make sort of points or notes. I don't think I'll be journaling for this playthrough. I think I'll probably just be playing as a game, but I might make some notes that I don't forget. What else? I think that's pretty much all you need to play the game. For assistance to help me, I've actually printed out a map of, okay, so this is the Kyushu district. It's like the southernmost large island, and I've basically printed out an area in the northwest of Kyushu. Again, I'm sorry if I pronounce these wrong, and I'm going to be doing this throughout the whole video. Pronunciation of names, of town names, so I apologize in advance. But this area is in the northwest corner of Kyushu. Plenty of places for me to visit. These are all towns villages and cities. So I'll be using this as a reference. This is the area that I'm going to be investigating. Don't have to do that. I'm just doing it because it makes it easier. Also, we are going to be interacting with NPCs. And again, since this is an RPG, I do want to have names to the NPCs, not just faceless, nameless characters. So what I've done is I've got here a list of men's names, women's names, and also family names. Now this is this isn't from the internet. This is actually from an old book of mine. Oh, RuneQuest, Land of Ninja. This is the old Games Workshop version. It was in here. So I don't know whether these names are still good or whether they're out of date or whatever, but this is what I'm going to be using to randomly also sort of pick names from. But again, this is not necessary. It's just something that I kind of did. I think I saw on the Dungeon Dive, he did something similar. He went on the internet and downloaded some spreadsheet or something of names, but we're not going to be doing that. Right. Now, unlike a lot of my videos, I'm not actually going to go through the sort of book bit by bit and explain what's going on. What we're going to be doing is actually just playing the game. We are going to start by creating our character and creating our town. That will probably be the first video because I want these to be a series of shorter videos. So to create our character, first of all, we're going to need a name. So let's go here. So I'm thinking I'll have a men's name. Now I'm thinking that I think I'll just use the random finger method. That sounds awfully rude, but it's the random finger method. Close eyes. Right, we've got Murasaki. Yes, let's go for male. We have Koriyasu. I'm gonna mess up these names. Something bad. Koriyasu. But we're going to be playing as Murasaki Koriyasu. I think in Japanese the family name comes first. What does it say? Family name is placed before the given name. Again, I'm going by what it says here. Right, so a quick look at the map. Where are we going to begin? Where are we going to begin? I think what I'll do is when I roll up the town, because there are 6 different types of towns that you can visit. Again, this is a physical book, so you may not be able to see it very clearly as I open the pages, but you've got seaside towns, mountain towns, cities, old towns, industrial towns, and farming towns. So I think I'll roll up first, and then we'll decide where exactly we are based on what we're doing. Let's continue with our character building. So level, we're going to be starting off at level 1. Our XP is going to start at 0. 0 there. Now skill, this is going to be something that can increase, and your skill value is going to be the value of your ace cards. So we're going to start off at level 1 for skill. Once I've collected XP, and you get XP based on how many encounters you do during the investigation. So this can increase. If I get 10 XP, I can increase this to 2, and then my aces are worth 2 each. You can start off with 1 ace in the deck, and again, as you progress further, let me show you the table. So as you progress further, as you collect more and more XP. So for example, if I get 10 XP, I become level 2. My skill will increase. So you see here, level 2, I get +1 skill. If I then get another 10 XP and become level 3, I don't get another point in skill, but I get +1 maximum willpower, and I increase my current willpower by 1 as well. And you can increase skill and willpower, and then if I get up to level 4, I can replace a 2 action card with an ace. So, you know, there are ways to sort of expand and evolve your character, improve your character even. Right, now this is the symbol for yen. I don't think it's the symbol that's used sort of on the international circuit, but this is actually the symbol for yen. Now you're going to start with 10,000. It sounds like a lot, but it's not, because what's going to happen is that when your action deck runs out, it basically means the day is over. You've run out of time, and then you have to spend 5,000 to stay in a hotel. If you don't, you become tired, which gives you a -1 on all your action checks, and trust me, that's bad. Willpower, now you start with 8, Again, as you progress, as you increase your level, that you can actually increase your willpower as well. And willpower is a way that you can basically fail investigations, where basically you run from the location kind of thing, yeah? By going to the hotel and resting, you can actually recuperate some willpower. I think there's also some food that you can find that can also sort of heal back willpower. Now, we've got two types of evidence. This is what you're going to be collecting as you do the investigations. If you have, for example, an encounter, if you overcome the encounter, it will tell you how much evidence you find. So you'll write down here the evidence. Now, this evidence is going to be consumable. You'll be spending evidence to do things like articles or documentaries and to earn more money. But campaign evidence is going to be a running total. So this one will never get reduced, but it will basically show you your running total, your current score kind of thing. At the end of the campaign, you'll be checking this to find out how well you did. Trait and abilities, right? When you create a character, you can either roll or choose a trait. And these traits are going to give you two abilities. It can be things, for example, having higher willpower. Maybe when you do things like writing chapters for a book, you write 2 chapters instead of 1. Maybe you get a bonus against fear checks. Maybe certain NPCs are easier to talk to. So you can choose or you can roll. Of course, we're going to be rolling that. You've also got inventory. You can hold up to 8 items. Later on, you can buy an old van. It's very expensive. I think it's like 80,000 yen. But that gives you extra inventory spaces, and it also allows you to move. And then down the bottom, you can put down any NPCs that you recruit as team members. Maybe not advised at the start of the game because it can get a bit expensive. And to begin with, until you start accumulating sort of more money, you're really kind of having to keep this for when you go back to the hotel, especially for maybe the first 1 or 2 cases. So what have we got? We've got no evidence yet. None of that. Okay, let's roll up our trait. So we have our table here. We are rolling a d6. So we get a 5. We are a streamer. Live stream. So I'm a streamer. So the 2 abilities I get, my online videos are worth plus 5,000 yen. So videos is one of the ways that you can sort of spend evidence. Videos. So you can spend 8 evidence points to create an online video. It says here, gain 3,000 yen times the activity level. Every haunted location is going to have an activity level, and that's going to represent the number of encounters you go through. So what does it say here? Your online videos are plus 5,000. So we'd get an extra 5,000 if we make videos. Would that also apply to full documentaries? I don't think so. All right, what else? When you inquire in town and make a research check with a young NPC, you get a +2 to the check. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of like an influencer. All right. So as long as they're young, yeah, that's not the majority. The majority of NPCs that you're going to find are not going to be young. See? You roll up here. You roll once for gender, once for age, and once for personality. You see, the majority of the NPCs you're going to find are adults and then old and young. Young is going to be the least common. Well, no, it's on 1. It's probably the most common for me. All right, let me just write that down. So I've written down here the 2 abilities, online video, and also the research bonus. Also, I've put here the 2 items that we start with. We start with 2 evidence gathering pieces of equipment. We start with a low-end camera, which generates visual evidence. It's worth 1,000 if I want to sell it later. I've got a cheap recorder which records audio, which is worth 500 if I decide to sell it later. There are 3 types of evidence, and again, the encounter that you do will tell you what type of evidence is available. If you don't have a piece of equipment to capture that kind of evidence, you don't get it. So at the moment, we've got visual and audio. We do not have anything to record data evidence. So if I go through an encounter and the only evidence that's available is data, I get nothing. So what I've found is one of the first things that I want to buy is a digital thermometer. And this is like the common item. Common items are available anywhere, and that's going to allow me to collect data evidence. Now, what I found is that buying that to begin with puts you in a bit of a potentially problematic position, because you've only got enough money to cover 2 nights at the hotel. Now, if all goes well, I might be able to collect enough information and then go to my haunt location in 1 day. But that doesn't always turn out that way. Now, that's it for character creation. Name levels here. The only thing you're actually generating is your name and your trait and abilities. That's it. Everything else is kind of set. So there's not a lot of work to do in terms of character creation. Let's move on to the town. Now, we're going to be starting in a town. We're going to be starting on the main street, which means we can go anywhere. Normally, when you move from one location to another, it costs you an action. Every time that you do an action, you have to lose 1 card from either your hand or from your action deck. This is like a timer as well. And every time that you move from one town to another, again, it's going to cost you money for the transport. Another thing is when you move from one town to another town, whether you've completed all the locations or not, is that you're going to replace one of your lower cards in the challenge deck with the next highest card. So for example, if I complete the first town and I move to the next town, the challenge deck, at the moment I've got a single 5 in there, that's going to go, and instead I'm going to be putting in a 9. Because this deck contains all the 6s, 7s and 8s and 1 5. So when I move to the next town, I'm taking out the 5 and I'm putting in a 9. So the challenge becomes a little bit harder, but my action deck can potentially get stronger as I get more aces as my level goes up. But don't get me wrong, this can be a very tough game. Let's generate the first town. Okay, so we're going to create a town. First of all, we want to find out what kind of town it is, and then I'll look on the map and identify which one it is. So we're rolling a d6 again. We have a 1, of course. Okay, so we're going to a seaside town. It has 3 town locations. Now, of course, being a town, it doesn't only have 3 town locations, but these are the ones that can help me when I do research. It also has 2 haunt locations. What does it say here? The clear waters mask the terrible stories you're already hearing as soon as you arrive. Ghost ships, drowned men, and lights. A man warns you to stay inside at night. Oh, lovely. Right, we do have a unique town location. So you'll find that each of these types of town has a unique location, which what you'll normally do is you'll put that as the first location, and then you'll roll up random sort of general locations for the others. It also has a unique haunt location, but this is not an automatic addition here. It's possible. When you roll up for the haunt locations, it's one of the possible results. So we've got a harbour, 3 NPCs, 2 food items, and takoyaki. That's a food, I think. Discard to recover 3 willpower. Okay, so that's for sale. Grimy old anglers work their boats and stalk the docks, but you can't help but notice a nervousness, a fear in them. All right, let me put this information there, and then we'll roll up for the locations and the haunts. Right, so I've put here the takoyaki. It's not a general food item. It doesn't seem to be on the standard table, so it's a special one. So I've just put notes here, discard for +3 willpower. I've also got 2 more food items to roll up. I've got 3 NPCs. Anything that you're not using, you cross off. For example, I'm not using these other item slots. If I only had 2 NPCs, I could just cross out this other NPC as well. We've got 3 town locations, 1, 2, 3, so okay. And then we've also got 2 haunt locations. So I can actually cross out the bottom one, we're not going to need it. What else? Now it does actually say, and again I don't normally bother, but it does actually say, cross out any NPC and item slots you're not using. Leave the other NPC and item slots empty. You'll fill these when you first visit a location and generate NPCs and items. So they're kind of keeping it as a surprise, so that when you visit a location, like for example the harbour, you then roll up the NPCs and the items. Normally I kind of just roll everything up at the start so everything's available. I know it kind of takes away the potential for going to a location and finding out that everybody's useless or there's nothing worth buying. But I just prefer to do it as I'm starting, as I'm creating the town, just to save time. So I don't keep sort of pausing the flow or interrupting the flow of actually going to the location and asking for information. So I'm going to be doing the same thing here. But again, the actual game says to leave them blank and to roll them up as you go to the location. But like I mentioned, I prefer to keep the momentum flowing. So I'm actually going to roll up everything to begin with. But I can do that in a minute, because what I want to do now is actually roll up the other locations. We've got 2 more town locations. This is the special one, the unique one. Yeah, the unique location. So we put that plus 2 general locations, and we've got 2 haunt locations to roll up. Could be the unique haunt, but it may not be. So we come to the next page, the town locations. We're going to be rolling a D10 for the 2 town locations. And then for the haunt locations, we're going to be rolling up a 10 as well. If you get an 8 to 10, you get the unique haunt. Now, it also says that we should re-roll, re-rolling duplicates. So what we're going to do now is we're going to roll up our other 2 town locations. We're rolling a D10. So we've also got a 10, a temple, okay. Now the temple has 2 NPCs, so we don't need that one. We've got only 1 item, okay. Now there is an item slot down the bottom here, but I prefer to kind of start up here, so I'll cross that out. Only 1 item. Yaku Yoki Charm. 1,000 yen. Discard during a fear check to draw a second challenge card. Choose one to resolve, discard the other. Ooh, okay. A cheerful monk shows you around the grounds, but anxiousness and fear replaces his cheer when he sees a stray dog with a mangy black coat of fur. Ooh. So the charm can actually be used to help during fear checks. Okay. But again, it's 1,000 yen, so maybe I'll do the first. I don't know, we'll have to see. Okay, we've got 2 NPCs here. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them all up together. 3rd location is a 2, a shopping street. 3 NPCs, 2 uncommon items, 1 rare item, 3 food. Okay, so loads of items. 3 NPCs as well, so this is quite a good place by the looks of it. You pass small cafes and quaint shops and people going about their shopping. A sudden shiver runs up your spine as you notice 2 old women staring at you from inside a small dusty shop with nothing on the shelves. What? All right, so the 3rd location is shopping street. Okay. We're going to have 3 NPCs and 6 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I use all of them? Okay. So I'll put the rare item here. Rare item. Uncommon, and then food. 3 food items. Okay. So we got a harbour, a temple, and a shopping street that can be places for me to actually find the information, because we need 3 pieces of information before we can actually investigate the locations. Speaking of which, let's roll up the locations first, and then we'll do all the NPCs and the items. So our first haunt location is going to be a 7, a river. Okay, so there's a river that we can investigate. Water has a strange effect on the dead. They collect here, but cannot cross. Ah, all right. There's also going to be an aspect. So we roll once for the location and then once for the aspect to show whether it's easier or harder to combat the spirits, or is it quiet, foggy, sadness, intense, cold, whatever. So the aspect we're rolling is, we got a 10. None. Some places are just plain haunted. Okay, so there's going to be no modifiers. So for example, if I'd rolled a 3, it's cold, a -1 to research checks. Even in the middle of summer, some places never know warmth. Something unnatural keeps them cold. You can feel the hateful warmth. So I'm not sure, does that affect research in town or just research at the location? Because you can do something called probe, where you're doing you're trying to collect research and information from the location, the haunt location. I'm not sure if that research check affects that or the whole town. Let's have a look and see. Okay, it says it here. The location's aspect only affects that location. So yeah, if it's cold, -1 to research checks will only affect the probe when you're actually investigating that haunt location itself, not these places. Okay, right, so our first haunt location is the river. No aspects, so it's just a general place. However, we do have to roll up the activity. How active is this location? And oh no, it's a 9. 5. Now, on the positive side, that means I can get 5. I've got 5 opportunities to collect evidence, 5 opportunities to get experience, but it means I've got to do 5 encounters to close that case. Ooh, okay, second haunt location, we get a 1, because of course we do. Abandoned school. There you go. Empty halls echo with forgotten school days. Huh, okay. 3. Cold. I shouldn't have said anything, should I? So the school is cold. We've got a -1 to research checks in that location, not here. Okay. Activity. Oh, come on, seriously. Oh no. Like I say, positive, it means okay. So these are going to be big investigations. Now, all right, let's find. Oh, got a bug there. Okay, let's find out the. Just find out the NPCs. Okay, so at the harbour, there is. Here we go. So we've got NPC creation here. You roll once for gender, age, and then personality. We can then randomly roll up their names, randomly use those tables or those collections to get their names. So, at the harbour, our first NPC is 10, female. 10, old. And 3, crude. So it's got a -1 here, so that means when I'm doing research by basically asking that NPC for information, there's going to be a -1 to the roll. Second NPC, a 9, another female. 5, adult. And their personality, a 10. Friendly, okay, great. Because friendly gives a +3 to research roles if I ask them questions. Third NPC at the harbour, 5, male. Come on, I want somebody young. 10, old. And personality, 8, paranoid, +1. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they've got. I mean, this one should be okay to get information from. +3 really does help. Okay, what else we got? We've got two food items, so we can roll up for those. Oops, we get an 8 milkshake. Now these ones I'm not going to make any notes because they're in the book. And a milkshake costs 1,000. That's an expensive milkshake. Bump. Discard to recover 2 willpower and gain a +1 to a push. A push is basically when you use cards from the action deck to add to your card from your hand. That's pretty good. Okay, and the other food available at the harbour is a 7. Latte, all drinks. Now the latte costs 1,000 as well. My God, this is expensive coffee. Starbucks, is it? Dum, 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 dum. Okay. Discard to gain +2 to a push. Ooh. See, all these could be really nice, but the trouble is I'm only starting with 10,000 yen. I'm kind of paranoid in terms of spending my money and not being able to get a good night's sleep at a hotel, because then I get tired and get a -1 to all my actions. All right, so that is that one done. Now, the next place, the temple. And again, I'm just doing this to get it out of the way so I can actually, when I'm playing the game, I can just keep the momentum going. The temple only had that one item, special item, the charm, but it does have 2 NPCs, so let's roll up the NPCs here. The first NPC, 7, is female. I need young for adult. And personality is 8. Paranoid again. Okay. Paranoid gives a +1 to research checks if I ask them for help. The next one is a 6. Female. Oh, so many females here. 9. My God. No young people at all. Old. And their personality. Oh, wow, come on. Shy. -3. That's not good. Now again, I think if you do this properly and you roll these up as you first go to the location, it's like a surprise. I think that's how it's supposed to be, but like I say, I'm doing it differently. Right, shopping street. We've got 3 NPCs and a whole bunch of items. Right, NPCs, shopping. Who's at the shopping centre? 1, male. Oh, I wanted that for the age. So we got male. Come on, give me another 1. A 6. Adult. Personality, 9. Polite, +2. Okay. Second one, I get a 1, male. 8. Old. 7. Curious. Curious gets a +1. Okay. Third NPC, a 9, female. Yay, young. Because I get a +2 with when I react with a young NPC. And personality, 8, paranoid, +1. So getting +3 with her. Nice. Was it? 8, paranoid. +1, okay. Right, we've got some items here. Let's do the food first. So we've got 3 food items for sale. Bom, a 6. Bento. Bento is 1,000 again. What does bento do? Discard to recover 3 willpower, okay. Second item is a 3, green tea. Green tea's 500. Discard to gain +2 to a fear check. Ooh, okay. And the last food is a 2, black coffee. Lots of drinks. And black coffee is 500 again. Now these are special food items. There is a common item, which is food. You just discard to recover 1 willpower. Again, it's 500, but it's available anywhere. Black coffee, what does that do? Discard this item to discard 2 action cards from the hand and draw 2 cards. Each card drawn may come from the discard pile or from the top of the deck. Okay. Okay. What else have we got? We've got 2 uncommon items and 1 rare item. So yeah, there are common items that you can find at every location. Basically, you either find it there or you find it in the vicinity, like a convenience store. But uncommon and rare items are more expensive, but they're also much more powerful. And you actually got to have them in a place for you to actually buy them. You can't just buy a rare item wherever. Let's do the uncommon first. So uncommon here, we get a 6, camping gear. Okay. Camping gear is 10,000 yen. Camping gear. Ignore the travel by foot penalty. This is when you're moving from one town to another. In mountain towns and towns of the forest, you pay 1,000 yen to rest instead of 5,000. Resting in a forest recovers no willpower, however. Okay, but you restock your cards. All right. Second uncommon item is a 10. Old van. Yeah, but it costs 80,000 yen. I'm not going to be able to afford that. Dang it. Old van. 80,000. Yeah. Dang it. I'm not going to be able to afford that even if I do perfectly these two haunts. There's no way I can afford that. Right. And we've got one rare item. What's it going to be? A 7. A kimono. Not so good for my male character, but there you go. Kimono, +2 to research checks when you inquire in town, in old towns and farming towns. Okay. 30,000 though. Whoa. Okay. That is everything except for the town name. Where are we going to start? Now, this is a seaside town. So we could have Arayo, Tara, Higashisonogi, Omura, Karatsu, Genkai. Seaside town. I mean, Arayo, Nagasu, Kawatana. I think Kawatana. Let's start over here and then we can basically move our way over this way. What do you think? Do you think that's okay? We start at Kawatana, yeah? Right. Kawatana is going to be where we are starting. We're starting there. A seaside town. Right, the last thing that I need to do before we actually start collecting info and investigating the locations is we've got to name our NPCs. Now what I'll do is I'll just do the names for the first location, and maybe before the next video I'll do the rest. You don't want to see me, writing down all this info. Oh, location 3 is the shopping center. Shopping street. Okay. No special thing there. No, okay. So we have got 3 NPCs here. In the temple we've got 2. In the shopping street we've got 3. Just to end this video, we'll just create the names for the town. I'll do the others off camera. Right, so for the harbour, our first NPC is female, old and crude. I can just imagine this person. Right, female, so family name first. Bum, bum, bum. Naito, and women's name, Kogo. Naito Kogo. This is the old woman who's really crude. Next, we have a female adult friendly. Okay. Family name, Suwa. And female name, first name or whatever, is Sadako. Again, you don't have to do this. You don't have to name your NPCs. It's perfectly okay just to have them as NPC. The old crude female. And then the third NPC is male, old and paranoid. Okay. We've got Makita, family name, and for the actual first name, Yoshi. I-I-E. Okay. Right, I'm going to do the other NPC names off camera, but we are ready to begin. So, join me in the next video, where we shall start our investigation of the town of Kawatana, a seaside town with a supposedly haunted river and abandoned school. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers.